Goods work is the main income for any railway. Without the many industries to serve, a railway wouldn't be nearly as profitable. And the Northwestern certainly has many contracts, making sure that the engines are kept plenty busy. Today, we'll be looking at one of the many industries served by the Northwestern Railway. Welcome to the home of Farmer McColl, one of the wealthiest farmers not just on Sodor, but Britain as a whole. Farmer McColl owns a whopping 47% of all farms on Sodor, producing everything from eggs, hay and milk to strawberries, tomatoes and potatoes. To get a better understanding of how Farmer McColl came to such power in the farming industry, let's go back to the beginning. In 1899, the first of the McColl family would come to Sodor, Matthew McColl. He came to the island in order to expand his dream of running his own farm. Sodor had a lot of land for sale, and since he came from a wealthy family, he bought a good chunk of it and set to work. Starting with regular wheat, he would soon begin to farm potatoes and strawberries. Out of all the farmers on Sodor at the time, Matthew was without question the one that worked the hardest. In the beginning, he would work almost day and night without much sleep to shape and expand his farm. By 1910, Matthew had a massive monopoly on his produce, but had a major problem: shipping. At that time, all his produce were shipped via road to the nearest harbor, where it would be shipped to the big cities. This problem was solved in 1920 when Matthew made an agreement with Sir Topham Hatt of the Northwestern Railway to build a rail connection to his farm, which would allow his produce to be shipped much quicker. When the connection was completed in 1926, Matthew could really expand his market, since his produce could now be shipped to the rest of the world much quicker and cheaper than before. By that time, he had become quite a well-known figure in the farming industry, and because of this, McColl had many connections, allowing him to ship his produce at a cheaper price. Because of this, after the connection was completed, McColl had an idea for a business, which would help the other farmers of Sodor. Thus, he started McColl Crops Incorporated, which gave the other farmers of Sodor the opportunity to ship their produce through Matthew, which saved them a lot of money. It became an instant hit, and soon after, McColl was serving almost every farmer on Sodor. The McColl family has never had any ownership of a locomotive. Ever since the completion of the rail connection, the Northwestern Railway has always had a locomotive who was dedicated to run the farm trains. This is the case since the success of the McColl farms is largely owed to the help from the Northwestern Railway. And with that being the case, the McColls see it as a good way of paying back, much to the delight of the Northwestern, since the contract with McColl Crops Incorporated remains one of their most profitable contracts to date. In 1937, Matthew McColl retired as a farmer and director of the company, and his son Rami McColl would take over his position. Rami was a business mastermind, and he soon got a lot of farms from the mainland on board with the many farms the company was serving. By the time Rami became director of the company, World War II was raging shortly after, thus resulting in many of the Sodor's farms starting to underperform and lose money, due to the stress laid on them in order to keep up with food supplies. To help those people, Rami took control of most of those farms, reshaping them and making them a lot more efficient and profitable. All the while, the old owners received most of the income. And like his father, Rami has also kept up good relations with the Northwestern Railway. Even when road travel exploded during the 60s, Rami tried his absolute hardest to stay away from it as much as possible, given the same reasons as previously mentioned. Also with the addition of Charles Topham Hatt, who was the controller of the Northwestern region following his father's retirement in 1954, Rami and Charles were childhood friends, thus helping the business relationship. Matthew McColl would spend his retirement holding charity events, eventually passing in 1966, with Rami retiring 15 years after that in 1981, following which Rami's son, Harry McColl, would take the position as director, which he still serves to this day. So, there you go. This has been the story of how the McColl family became the powerful farming organization that it is today. And with their influence on the farming sector still spreading, it's fair to say that they'll be continuing making their mark for many years to come. Thanks for watching.